What is going on, guys? I'm SceptileMC here, George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, here to bring you my GBA Season 7 draft analysis video. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say I do have a cold, but I had like a fever for 3 days before, but I do have a cold now, kind of, so I have like the sniffles, and I have like a sore throat, kind of, so if I sound different, / if I sniff in the video, that's why, but, God. So, we went into this draft, and my main plan was Manaphy. I want to get Manaphy because that thing was just so good for us last season after we picked it up. We owe our title to that Pokemon, basically, and lo and behold, you guys can see it on the screen, the previous pick, one pick away from us, Cooper decided to grab the Manaphy from us. And Cooper, I hate you. I literally hate you so much. But I was thinking about it because he kind of sniped me there, and I was like, what else would I want? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get Mew. Mew is the most versatile Pokemon in draft format. It is majority used as a defensive mon just because of its utility as a defensive mon. It can be like especially defensive, physically defensive. It can be like a speedy, bulky set with like the defog, the rocks. Has like really good recovery, can be a wish passer, has every move in the game. It's a great Z move mon as well, which is why I chose it as my Z move mon. It can do a lot of different things. I'm hoping I can use it as more of an offensive role. That's kind of my hope with it, because I decided to draft a lot of support for it in the future rounds to where it would not have to be a defensive mon every time I brought it, because that's kind of how I see like Mew every single time now. It's defensive, especially defensive. It's bulky, it's got rocks, it's got defog, it's got will-o-wisp, it's got taunt, it's got all that stuff, but it's so good offensively that I want to try to use it as that more often than I use it as a bulky mon. So that was my first round pick, and right after that I decided that I was looking around and this Pokemon was actually still around, and I thought about it and I figured it would partner pretty well off with Mew, and that is Garchomp. So with Garchomp, it is a fast rocker, which kind of takes the pressure off Mew having stealth rocks. It can be Swords Dance, it can be Choice Scarf, it can be Ender Salac Berry, it can be Sub Salac, it can be defensive with Rocky Helmet. Hell, I could run Assault Vest on this thing if I wanted to. It's got a good speed tier of base 102. Forget what its attack is. All I know is it's crazy high, and Earthquake does a lot to things because a lot of people don't draft like good Earthquake counters. Shout out to me last season, with Sceptile being my EQ counter. God. Great defensive stats if I wanted to run it defensive. So in like my way of drafting, I do like to draft Pokemon that I can run as offensive and defensive threats. I don't like having two one-sided Pokemon, in the sense of like, I don't know, I'm blanking right now. But if I were to draft something like, shit, now I'm really, well, like, for example, Sceptile. Sceptile is a great special attacker, but that's all it does. All it does is special attack. It doesn't, you can't really run it on the physical side. You're kind of bad then. Could work. It's kind of bad, and defensively speaking, it's pitiful. So that's why I do like Pokemon like Garchomp and Mew, where I can do whatever I want with it. It makes it a lot more fun to team build with them, and just a lot more versatility. So now, with the Mew and the Garchomp, I've kind of patched up our, well, Mew kind of patches up any weakness. Even if it's not a resisted hit, it just patches it up anyway. And with Garchomp, I pretty much patch up any physical threat that I need to kind of wear down, just with the Rocky Helmet and the Rough Skin. But of course, if I run a banded set, there's not anything taking me in that range but a fairy type. So going off of this, I was kind of looking, and I'm like, what do I want next? What's on the board still? And I was looking at it, I'm like, maybe I should get a fast electric type, because those do typically try to go earlier. But I decided not to do that. I decided I would save my fast electric for round 4, because the one I had my eye on, it didn't really look like it would be going in the 3rd round. While this Pokemon did actually look like it would, and I decided to take more pressure off of my Mew from defogging and pick up Togekiss. So Togekiss is a phenomenal Pokemon. in draft, it is a fairy type. It can run defog, it can run defensive, it can run specially defensive, it can run specs, it can run nasty plot, it can be choice scarf to air slash, T-wave air slash, it gets roost, heal bell, flamethrower air slash, a dazzling gleam, shadow ball, extra sensory. I'm just naming all the moves it gets now, even though I don't have it in front of me. Nasty plot, baton pass, probably gets tailwind, I'm assuming correctly. It gets ancient power if I ever wanted to try to be an interesting guy and run ancient power. This does give me a bit of an ice weakness, and I do understand that, but I'll patch that up more down the line in my draft. But Togekiss overall, it's just a phenomenal Pokemon. It's a fairy type, which I did have a dragon weakness. If a Latios came at me right now, and I had a Mew and a Garchomp, and it was just a Specs Latios or Life Orb, and it dropped Draco's on me, I'd probably lose the game. So Togekiss is a perfect wall for that. It also gives me a ground immunity, which I did want to prioritize because I did have a very big problem with ground types last season. This thing also, in general, just is like immune to U-turn, pretty much. So I have a bug weakness with Mew. The Garchomp and the Togekiss kind of stop that the bug weakness. I have a dark weakness with Mew, and the Togekiss kind of patches that up as well. So overall, it's good synergy. I do have an ice weakness now, but I'm just hoping to kind of patch that up later down the road. Next up, I decided I'd pick up my fast electric, which is Raikou. In previous seasons, I always doubted fast electric types because I figured they all do the same thing, which I'm not really wrong about. All fast electrics kind of do the same. Typically, you slap a choice scarf on it, or choice specs depending on the speed of the opponent's team, and you click Volt Switch a whole bunch of times. You click Volt Switch, as soon as the ground resist is gone, you run HP Ice or HP Grass, depending on if it's a ground type, or just a plain old ground type. And then you run two more coverage moves that you typically don't ever see. The way I thought about this season was I wanted to see the difference between having a fast electric type like Electabuzz, which just kind of does the same thing every week and isn't the strongest fast electric type, but has kind of some variation, I guess, with like a Life Orb set or with a substitute set. And going for what is arguably one of the best ones in the game because of its speed tier as well as its power. It gets Calm Mind, which not a lot of electric types do. It has access to moves like Aura Sphere as well. So I'm really looking forward to use this Pokemon. It's also a fantastic Assault Vest Pokemon, which a lot of people sleep on because of just they don't look at Raikou as more of a bulky option, but in reality I could run Assault Vest on this thing and just pivot around with it. So yeah. Overall, great Pokemon. It gets Extreme Speed too. I don't think I'll ever be trying to run Extreme Speed, but you never know. I might decide that Extreme Speed is a good move for me. And overall, I'm just liking the speed tiers I have right now. I have a base 100, a base 102, and a base 115 now, so my speed tiers are looking very good. I've been known for drafting slower teams in the past, and I kind of want to do that again. So I'm basically, in this draft, I'm taking from all my past experiences and just trying to see if I can make just the ultimate, like, Super Saiyan team here, and that's what I'm basically trying to do. But after this, I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, what do we need to patch up this? And I was looking at it, and I'm like, okay, the steel types are all almost gone. And when I mean they're almost gone, every single steel type was pretty much taken. And if you didn't have a steel type yet, you're just gonna get destroyed by the fairies and the psychics and everything in this game that's evil. So I was looking at it, and I saw that this like steel type was around still, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pick it up. And that is Reggie Steel. So Reggie Steel, I've never used Reggie Steel before in draft. Not gonna lie, I haven't. But it is a phenomenal wall. It's not very good offensively, and I do try to preach that I want offensive and defensive mons. However, when you pick in your steel type, you don't really pick a steel type for the offense, in my opinion. Its main job is really just, if they have a Latios or Latias, you're gonna go Reggie Steel. If they have a Salamence, you're gonna go Reggie Steel. If they have 10 fairy types, you're gonna go with the Reggie Steel. So, overall, this Pokemon is just pretty like phenomenal in its role. It gets Rocks, which also takes the pressure off Mew and Garchomp now. I have access to T-Wave and Toxic with this. What else? It gets Seismic Toss, Earthquake, Iron Head, Curse. You never know if I may run a Curse Rest Talk set. Watch out, guys. Trying to think if there is anything else with this Pokemon. No, that's pretty much it. It does give me a bit of a ground weakness, even though I do have like the Togekiss, the Mew, and the Garchomp. I kind of count Mew as any kind of resist if I want it to be. Just run defensive, run special defensive, which I don't really want to do, but if I have to, I will. But yeah, I do have kind of a ground weakness right now, but I'm going to try to patch it up in the coming rounds. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, if I really don't want to run Mew as a defensive mon, then I have to pick up another bulky mon to try to support the team a little more. And I also needed a bulky water, so as my next pick, I decided I would grab the Lord Suicune. Now, Suicune is an interesting mon, because no matter any situation on the ladder, and I'm talking about the Smogon ladder, by the way, UU, OU, if you have a Suicune in the back, and the opponent's team is not prepped to deal with a Suicune, well, if it's your last Pokemon, you can just win the game. You can win the game right there with Calm Mind. You just go for Calm Mind, you rest, you sleep talk, and it's game over. A crit might happen, yes, but it's just over. I've won games when I've been down like 6-1 with Suicune, and I just win with Suicune, because their only counter to it is just a Hazer. Well, not Hazer, but a Phaser. Phaser, Hazer, Laser, Dazer, Kaiser, Razor, Mazer. I'm done. I'm done. But yes, just overall Suicune, it's fast, I want to say. It's like 85 base speed, I think. It's got decent special attack. I think it's base 90. It's base 90 HP, I think, with base 115 in each defenses. That's a pretty bulky Pokemon. That can do a lot of work for me. It has a lot of utility. It has access to Tailwind, Scald, Ice Beam, Extrasensory, think Signal Beam. I want to say Shadow Ball. Calm Mind. I think it's Agility. It has access to Phasing with Roar. I don't know if it gets Haze. Not sure about that. But yeah, overall, it's a very good water type. I haven't used Suicune in draft, but I know I'll be able to try to utilize it pretty well. Yeah, so I was looking at my team here, and I was like, this is actually a very good team so far. These are 6 like very good Pokemon in draft. They all like synergize pretty well with each other. The only thing I have an issue with is still the ground types, Edgequake kind of specifically right there. And I decided I was just gonna look through all the Pokemon I have left, and I was gonna find myself a Pokemon that I would maybe add some more speed to my team, or pick up more of a bulkier Pokemon, maybe a grass type. And I was looking through the grass types that were left, and this Pokemon was just chilling. This Pokemon was just chilling right here, and I was like, I need it. I need it. And lo and behold, I get Serperior in round 7. Who leaves Serperior until round 7? 113 base speed. What, like 80 special attack, 75? Contrary Leaf Storm. It has pretty good defenses, so I could run this thing as a bulkier set if I wanted to. Fast Subseed. It gets Glare. Contrary Leaf Storm. Did I mention it gets Contrary Leaf Storm? Did I mention it sweeps teams if they don't prepare for it very well? This thing is so powerful and so good. It just blows my mind that it lasted to me in round 7. There were what? 6 times 16? So there were 6 rounds, that's 16, 96 picks, I believe. And then I was, what, pick 12? So that's 107 picks went by in this draft, and I got Serperior as the 108th pick. That's disgusting. That is disgusting, and all you other coaches need to be ashamed of yourselves. Poor Serperior. Welcome to the team, my Avocado Doge. That's right, I do have his nickname as Avocado Doge. I'm really random with my nicknames, okay? But yeah, Serperior is gonna be a savage on the team. It honestly patched up any weakness I had, in my opinion. I guess you could say I have an ice weakness, but I have Mew, I have the Reggie Steel, and I have the Suicune. It's a lot better of a ground resist than Sceptile. I will tell you that. It's a lot better of a ground resist than Sceptile, but there's not really much explanation I have to do with Serperior, in my opinion. On the next pick, I was kind of looking around, and I'm like, well, let me just try to get all the other types I don't have now. I don't have a fighting type, and I figured a fighting type is going to be a very good mon to have. So I was looking at all of them. I could have grabbed Heracross. I was thinking of Enshou. I was thinking of Scrafty a little bit, to be honest. And then overall, I was just like, you know what? I want to keep my team relatively quick. In my opinion, I do have some already very powerful Pokemon, So I don't really need Heracross. I am building kind of a fire weakness if I get Heracross, because I have a third fire weak Pokemon. So I did actually decide on Enshou. So Enshou is very versatile. It could be special or physical, mainly physical, but if I wanted to, I could run, I think it's Nasty Plot. No, it gets Calm Mind. It gets Calm Mind, it gets Bulk Up, and it gets SD, I believe. It's base 105 speed, like 130 attack, I want to say. But the main thing about it is it gets Regenerator, which means I can run a Life Orb set and just you turn around, take 10%, and then heal off my 10%. Or it can be a Savage and run the mighty, powerful, reckless high jump kick set with Choice Band, with Choice Scarf. It doesn't matter, it kills everything if I hit. I have a feeling I'm gonna lose a game because I miss high jump kick once in a while, but that's okay because it's just high jump kick, and if I use it, I just kind of, I don't know, just kind of run the risk of that happening. But Enshou overall is a fantastic fighting type. It's very good in a Volt Turn, a combination with Raikou as well as Mew. I guess if I do run that thing as a Volt Turner if I want to. But yeah, overall, Enshou is a very good pick in my opinion. It's knockoff U-turn, the Poison Jab, the Stone Edge, the High Jump Kick, the Drain Punch, Acrobatics, Iron Tail? It has a tail. I assume it gets Iron Tail. It's like a Sub-Focus Punch set if I'm a Savage. I'm not a Savage though. But yeah, so that is that Pokemon right there. Base 105 speed, very strong, could be a special attacker. Overall, fantastic Pokemon. Now, I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want a fire type now. Kind of want to grab a fire type, and then I was looking around, and these picks that are just sitting there, staring at me. Just these undrafted Pokemon looking at me and going, George, what is wrong with the other coaches? I'm here. You can pick me. Volcarona, why are you here? Why am I getting you in round 9? I don't know. I saw Volcarona, and before I get a lot of comments saying it's really not that good because of hazards. Look at my team and tell me I don't have the best 2 defoggers in draft. Tell me I don't have the best 2 hazard removers in the draft format. And then I'm wrong. I'll tell you I'm wrong if you guys are able to prove that I don't have really some of the best support for Volcarona on my team that I could possibly have. Because Mew and Togekiss together are 2 of the most reliable defoggers that are available, in my opinion. With Volcarona, you're not going to see a Quiver Dance every week for me if I bring it. You'll probably see more of a I'm going to YOLO and be Choice Specs or Scarfed or like Life Orb or so. I don't know. Volcarona is going to be a lot of fun to use. I was very excited to pick it up so late in the draft. As you see, a Cloyster got picked before Volcarona. How? I don't know. Volcarona's a Savage? My Firebug? His name's Firebug, by the way, because I'm very unique with my nicknames. But, yeah, it gets the Will-O-Wisp. U-turn, it gets Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, Fiery Dance, Flamethrower, Heat Wave, Fire Blast, Ember. Ember's a great move, guys. Gets the Quiver Dance, obviously. Some Hurricanes if I ever want to run the Rain Dance on my Raikou for the Thunder and the Weather Ball. I don't know. It gets Flare Blitz, it gets Flame Charge, it gets, I already said U-turn. Calm Mind. Why do you ever run Calm Mind over Quiver Dance? I don't know. But yeah, it's 135 special attack, I think. Base 100 speed. It's not a slow Pokemon. Already my team is looking so much better than it did like Season 5. Season 5, I had like the slowest team to ever be recorded in like GBA history, with my fastest Pokemon being Miltank. I think my fastest Pokemon was a Miltank. Yeah, that was a bad season. No, I had Mega Lopunny, and then my next fastest was Miltank. That's bad. That's really bad, okay? But yeah. So I got Volcarona in round 9. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I got Volcarona in round 9. I'm not complaining. So after that, I decided I was going to just look around and see what was left. I was going to patch any holes in my team. And I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? This Pokemon is around. I have a lot of hatred for this Pokemon. obvious reasons last season. And I want to show how it could be properly used. Proper usage. Welcome Proper Usage, that's its nickname by the way, to the team, my Drapion. So I picked up Drapion. It was the last 2 mons on my team are kind of just, if you run these 2, kind of good for you, but you don't have to. A choo-choo, I don't know. Jesus Christ, George. Drapion is a very good Pokemon. It has pretty good stats, pretty even all around. It's base 110 defense, I think, and like 80 HP, maybe 90 HP, with the 90 base speed, 95 base speed. It has 80 special defense, I think, an abysmal special attack, and then like base like 90 attack, which I don't understand why Drapion doesn't have like base 100 attack. Look at this thing. If you were to get hit by this thing, it would do so much more damage than if Mew like tried to hit you with a physical attack. This thing is weaker than Mew, and it's like 3 times its size and has giant pincer arms. It has giant pincer arms, and it's base 90 attack. That's just so disappointing. Like, come on, Game Freak. Come on, Nintendo. What the fuck? Come on. But yeah, Drapion overall is just pretty overall like decent Pokemon. I only had Stealth Rocks on my team, so this adds Toxic Spikes to me. And yeah, it's just overall it's great. It has good coverage. It's knockoff, Poison Jab, not Mega Horn, Earthquake, Aqua Tail. Pursuit Trapping is also there. It gets shit. I'm blanking now. Acupressure. Yes. It does get acupressure, doesn't it? How would I remember that? How would I remember that it gets acupressure? I don't know. That's kind of random, actually. I've never faced an acupressure Drapion before. It's never gotten me angry. Let's go to my round 11 pick now. In my round 11 pick, I decided to pick Exploud. So, kind of on the last Pokemon, I was just like, what am I going to pick that's going to not really kind of like round out the team. The team was honestly done round 7. Honestly, if I could use only 7 Pokemon, I would pick my 1 through 7 team. Volcarona was kind of a snag in this round 9. I got it because it was there. Drapion's I just got it. Enshou is just fighting type. You don't really need a fighting type, but it's always nice. And then I grabbed Exploud. So Exploud right here, it gives me a ghost immunity. Yeah. I do have Drapion for Ghosts, so I'm not really too worried. Also, Drapion does Pursuit Traps, the Psychic type, so that's also important. But basically, we all know what Exploud does. If I bring it, it's clicking Boom Burst. That's all it's doing, is clicking Boom Burst. If I bring it, I'm trapping something, or the person's team just cannot handle it. They just cannot handle Boom Burst. And I'm going to bring it in, it's going to get a kill, maybe take like 80%, and I'm either going to use it as a death fodder, or it's going to outspeed a wall and kill that. 2 to 0 kills a game, if I bring it. Maybe. That's all I need it for. That's all I need it for. All I need it is to have that extra pressure that is, if this guy brings Exploud, what am I going to do to counter it? It's the same thing with Crawdaunt, kind of, because Crawdaunt's a very unique Pokemon in the sense of, every week someone sees a Crawdaunt, they go, holy fuck, this guy's going to bring this against me. It's very powerful. It's going to do all this. And then people never bring it. I mean, I had Crawdaunt for 2 seasons, and I found it incredibly hard to bring to some matches. It's a very good Pokemon, but it just has a lot of weaknesses. It's very slow. It has a lot of weaknesses. Aqua Jet isn't an OHKO-verse Pokemon, unless it's a fire type like Volcarona. Or Magmortar, Infernape. Oh god, Infernape. I miss Infernape. I wanted that thing again too. I wanted Manaphy Infernape again. Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? But yeah, Crawdaunt is very similar to Exploud. It does one thing. What other Pokemon kind of do that? Just like really heavy hitters that people draft. Emboar. Emboar does something similar. It's incredibly strong, incredibly good, but it's not always brought. Well, I'm kind of comparing Exploud to Emboar now. I really wish I had Emboar instead of Exploud now. Okay, well, fuck it, guys. That's my draft. If you guys like it, you can just leave your comments down below and tell me how it is. I feel like I did a very good job. I tried my best to draft a very good team. You guys will notice I didn't draft a single Gen 7 mon. Still haven't finished Sun and Moon. Oh my god. Yeah, I haven't finished Sun and Moon yet. I don't know. It's meh. I'm just not that into the in-game Pokemon anymore. I still love competitive. I still love competitive like I always will. The in-game is just kind of boring now for me. And they really hold your hand through the games, and that's really annoying. Tell me what moves are super effective. Why? I know what moves are super effective. That's the point of learning the game. You don't have to tell me. I know. That's how I learned. I've learned off Ruby and Sapphire. That's how I learned. Is I clicked random moves and it said not very effective. I'm like, okay, I gotta remember that. And then I figured out. Oh, you figure stuff out instead of getting just like handed information. Nintendo, you're just kind of like you're babying me and boring me at the same time. I don't like it. But yeah, guys, that is gonna be it for my draft analysis video. You can leave your comments down below on how you think I did on the draft. It was a free draft, so I could draft anything I wanted. There were no tiers or anything, so I drafted the most broken team I pretty much could. Pretty much, yeah. And the only Gen 7 like mons I actually wanted surprisingly went in the first and second round, so I didn't even bother getting a Gen 7 mon. I thought about Araquanid actually. I really thought about Araquanid. I still am thinking about Araquanid. I might pick that up in free agency. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'll see how it goes, guys. But anyways, that is gonna be it for today, guys. I'm SceptileMC, your George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, and look out for the video tomorrow. It's my team builder, and my battle is gonna be on Sunday. So, anyways, guys, peace out.